All right, it's a little bit after 12 o'clock, so we are going to get started with our webinar. Welcome everyone to the Environmental Matters webinar series. Today we'll be talking about Lake Superior Day and the Superior Binational Forum. We have Lissa Radke as our guest. She is the Lake Superior Binational Forum coordinator. The Environmental Matters webinar series, as I said, this is one of the installments. We're on the 11th webinar. We do about 2 per month. If you're interested in attending a webinar, you can register at ci.superior.wi.us/webinar. For every webinar that you attend between June 1st and November 30th, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a free compost bin if you're a City of Superior resident. So each webinar that you attend, you gain one more entry. So the more you come to, the better chance you have of winning. If you don't win, we also have some compost bins for sale, so you can contact us if you're interested in that. Down on this slide, we also have a little bit of information about some of our upcoming topics. Our next one is July 23rd at noon, and it is entitled Only Rain Down the Drain, and Wendy will be talking about illicit discharge, what they are, what to do if you spot one, why they're a problem, things like that. So I'm actually going to pass the webinar over to Lissa so she can get started and talk to us about Lake Superior Day.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being here with you today. As you said, my name is Lissa Radke. I am the U.S. coordinator for the Lake Superior Binational Forum. My office is here at the Sigurd Olson Environmental Institute on the Northland College campus in Ashland, Wisconsin. And I've been here working for the forum for the past 11 years, although the forum has been here at the Sigurd Olson Environmental Institute for 22 years. And much of my work has been greatly enhanced and helped along by Jean Ayers, our Institute Program Coordinator, so I just want to thank her for all of her work. And also, many people from the Twin Ports area might recognize the name Bruce Lindgren from Herbster. He is the U.S. co-chair of the Binational Forum. And also serving in leadership role for the forum is Christine Ostern. She's the Douglas County Coordinator for the Land and Water Conservation Department in Douglas County. She's our U.S. Vice Chair. So I appreciate being invited to talk with you today. This is the 10th anniversary of the first Lake Superior Day, which the forum started to promote in 2004. So I'll be giving you a short history of Lake Superior Day. We'll highlight some of the events that have happened in the past, and then we'll end by suggesting ways that folks might be able to celebrate this year. But first I wanted to tell you just a little bit about the Lake Superior Binational Forum. In 1991, a diverse stakeholder group of 24 American and Canadian volunteers from large and small communities all around the lake formed as the Lake Superior Binational Forum. And this group still serves as the link between the binational governments that manage the lake, called the Lake Superior Binational Program, and we link the binational program managers with the general public who uses the lake and the resources around it. Our members represent diverse perspectives that reflect the wide variety of lake users, and this diverse perspective really helps binational governments manage the lake and the land around the lake. And these perspectives, or sectors as we call them, include representatives from industry, such as power generation, paper companies, mining companies, indigenous nations, academia, environmental groups, legal aspects, the faith community, land use planning, recreation, and other sectors. And this is a picture of our forum members not far from Marathon, Ontario. The diversity of our members at times has divided the group over the years as different representatives had different needs for natural resources of the basin. But after a year of meetings and discussions back in 1991, all members worked on this shared vision statement that all of them were able to agree to, which starts out with the words "water is life." And I just put the short version of our vision statement here on the slide. You can see the rest of it at our website. But basically, all members agree that water is life, and the quality of water determines the quality of life. And that's a very important beginning point for diverse members to come up with this shared vision statement. We still follow that to this day. Now, the forum has two main roles. First, we listen to and collect public comments from lake users all around the lake, and our main way to get this public input is through 4 open public meetings a year, 2 on the U.S. side. And this is a chance for us to hear from specialists about issues related to protecting the lake, and also ask the public for their input on how they want binational governments to manage the lake and the resources around the lake. Our second role is to provide educational programs about lake issues to the public. And we have numerous programs that do that. This is a slide that shows some recent winners in our annual Environmental Stewardship Awards program that we've offered since 2004. This is a chance for us to have binational judges review nominations from all around the lake to find the outstanding contributions from groups in 6 categories who are doing unique things to protect the lake. And as I mentioned, here are recipients from 2012. We have a business owner from Madeline Island. On the left is a principal from Drummond School. The woman in pink in the middle is the chairwoman of the Fond du Lac Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, receiving an award for the tribe's contributions. And then there's several representatives from the not-for-profit group called Water Legacy, who's doing terrific outreach on water issues. We also have a Friends of the Lake program that we started 3 years ago called Lake Superior Stewards. We have about 1,500 stewards all around the lake who have told us that they pledge to do at least one thing to protect the lake. And we give them in return this sticker in the middle that can be put on a window of a car or a house or your office. You can go to our website to see a map where these stewards live. They come from, of course, the U.S. and Canada. We have some stewards in Russia and Australia. And Jean has started an online scrapbook, which includes some stories that some of our stewards have told us about why the lake and the land around the lake is so special. And one of our other really popular educational tools has been our online webinars. We offered several on climate change and mining, which will allow us to interact with each other and learn from experts from all over the world. But we're finally, and probably best known for our outreach program called Lake Superior Day. This is an event that the forum started to promote in 2004, set aside the 3rd Sunday in July. We thought that the world's largest freshwater lake deserved its own day. And the purpose of this was to really find ways to connect to the lake, to celebrate the ways that this lake shapes our environment, our economy, and our way of life. And we're really proud of the fact that one of our forum members gave the idea and the inspiration for this day. Many of you folks in Superior will be very familiar with Bob Brown. He's been a forum member for about 15 years. And he's also a City of Superior Council member. He's served for many years on the Douglas County Board, and he's very active in many kinds of social and environmental groups. So we really want to thank Bob Brown for launching this day. We realized pretty quickly that this day was going to take off fairly rapidly all around the lake, so we started developing several tools. And in 2005, one of our forum members is a professor at Northern Michigan University, and he linked us up with a design class from Northern Michigan U to create a logo for us to use in all of our future print materials. And this was the winning logo designed by Barbara Kirchhoff, who was a junior at the university and also came from Ironwood, Michigan. And this design we chose from 32 different designs, but we thought this very clearly and easily showed the beauty of Lake Superior. In 2005, we got some grant money from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to develop one of our most popular tools, and that is a postcard. On the front, we have highlighted different aspects of Lake Superior as interpreted by artists around the lake. It's a little bit hard to see the one on the left, but that is a photograph of a beach on Madeline Island taken by a Wisconsin photographer. And on the right is a watercolor painting that represents Lake Superior's geology. That was painted by Peg Sandin of Saxon Harbor, Wisconsin. And over the years, the forum has distributed over 100,000 different postcards representing different artists from around the lake. And in the first several years, we had enough grant money to print some buttons. We can't do that any longer, so these are now collector's items. And here's the postcard image for this year. This is a photograph of northern lights as seen from Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore up in Munising, taken by the photographer Sean Malone. A second very popular tool that the forum has used to spread the word about the day was a paper placemat printed on recycled paper. Originally, we received funds from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency to print about 150,000 copies around the lake. And then in 2011 and 12, our EPA grant funding allowed us to print and distribute 300,000 copies of a paper placemat printed on recycled paper each year for 2 years to about 300 locations each year. And we've got help from partners in 2011, and we got help from staff at the Lake Superior magazine to produce the placemat that year. And then in 2012, this is the front of the paper placemat. This was designed by the PR department here at Northland College. And people really enjoyed these placemats. On the front we had information about how to stop the spread of invasive species, as well as how to stop pollution by getting rid of your burn barrel. And on the back we had puzzles and games for people to play while they wait for their food or sit with their placemat in a public place. Now, these placemats were shipped or delivered to small and large restaurants and motels, libraries, day camps, senior lunch programs, visitor centers. They went out to family picnics and church picnics, you named it. These went all around the lake. And here's a picture of the paper placemats at a McDonald's. On the left, in the upper right-hand corner, that's Janelle at the Lake Superior Cafe here in Ashland. They personally distributed tens of thousands of these placemats to their guests. You see some women down below who we caught playing some of the puzzles one day when we went to take a picture. Another thing that Bob Brown started was a proclamation for Lake Superior Day, and the forum helped to write this. It's based on our vision statement. Bob got this signed by well, let me go back here. This is the beginning of the proclamation. You can read the rest of it on our website, but basically you can see here this middle paragraph says that we are building this proclamation and asking people to support us in our vision statement. And the proclamation recognizes that the lake is not only good for recreation and our personal enjoyment, but it's also an important part of our Lake Superior economy. And here we go. In 2012, it was Bob's personal goal to get elected officials to sign this proclamation to show everyone their dedication to protecting the lake. And so you can see he got all 3 governors of the Lake Superior states to sign one, as well as mayors and tribal councils and city council representatives. just all by Bob himself in 1 year. It's truly remarkable. And then these next two slides, I'm just showing you for the diversity of the signers here. We have some small and large communities ranging from the tiny town of Eagle Harbor in the UP of Michigan to the largest city of Thunder Bay. Representatives signed this proclamation. Corporations signed on, such as the Sappi Paper Company in Cloquet. Again, we have support from the Douglas County Board, Native American tribes, and our own college president here at Northland College signed. And then here are some more signers over the years, including many more Ontario communities that came on to show their support, as well as not-for-profit groups such as Clean Water Action Alliance and the Steger Foundation run by Will Steger. Using additional grant funding, we started in 2005 to donate books and videos about the lake to public libraries to help build their collections on Lake Superior and to spread more information about this great lake to the public. Here's a photo of the Red Cliff librarian from the Red Cliff Band of Lake Superior, Ojibwe, and some of her patrons going through the gift books. That year in 2005, they used the books to make a display about Lake Superior for the library, so libraries actively get involved. And after 5 years of this program, the forum gave materials to 27 community libraries all around the lake, including these popular books and videos for kids and adults. Now, because Lake Superior Day is on a Sunday, many different faiths participate by offering special services. Here in the middle we have Reverend Marina Lechecki, who's the pastor at the St. John's Church on the Madeline Island. Here she is giving a blessing of the water. Marina Lechecki has had more Lake Superior Day services than any church in the entire basin. She's been offering Lake Superior Day events since 1995. And she is very well known for leading her congregation right to the waters of the lake, located across from the church on Madeline Island, to have everybody put their feet in the water. And then she gives this blessing. She also has incorporated special water music played by area musicians. And in one picture we can see some accordion players out on the dock during this church service. And she fills the church with local artists who have done artwork about Lake Superior. And then after her church service, she invites a guest speaker to come for fellowship and talk about a priority issue to her congregation. So it's one church who's doing a lot to remind people of their sacred connection to water. And also in the slide on the lower right is a photo of Catholic clergy who are working with a church to plant cedar trees near the church in the UP. And every year the forum hears about 30 churches around the lake letting us know what they are doing. Now I just wanted to show you some slides showing the diversity of types of events that people have organized over the years. These help, I hope, give a good example of what the day's all about. On the left are organizers of a native plant sale, and on the right is a display of Lake Superior merchandise on sale at the Eller's store in Cornucopia, Wisconsin. They offered sales on clothing, t-shirts, hats, and books and materials about the lake, which was really fun to see. For about 4 years, the Binational Forum has donated one of these big, delicious cakes that's served at the Superior Festival, which is offered in the city of Superior at Barker's Island. We'll hear more about that at the end of this program. But we had a big cake for the 20th anniversary of the Binational Forum back in 2011, and it was really fun to hand free cake to people who came to the event. Thunder Bay, of course, is the largest city in Lake Superior, and they have one of the largest events there. The folks from Eco Superior Environmental Education Center said that their event attracts 4,000 to 5,000 people every year. And they have done lots of different things, from holding displays, having an outdoor picnic. On the left is a famous folk singer from Ontario who came to their venue and gave a free outdoor festival. Eco Superior has sponsored a water truck that gave out free glasses of ice-cold tap water all day instead of using or selling bottled water. And their event has included kayak tours around the bay, displays, as I mentioned, kids' games, a beach cleanup, and an art show. They have a very large, successful ceremony, and this year they're bringing in a tall ship. So they'll have one of the largest tall ships in the Great Lakes at the dockside down on their waterfront. Here's a couple of posters from other events going on in Thunder Bay, sponsored by the Lakehead Regional Conservation Authority, which is the water source group making sure that the city's water is clean. They really appealed to children and family activities, so you can see that they involved live animals and reptiles in their events, and they also have some interactive displays to teach about the birds of the Lake Superior Basin. So a lot of great kids activities through the Lakehead Regional Conservation Authority. And then here in the Twin Ports again, we celebrated 1 year with folks in Herbster who all got up ungodly early at 5:29 a.m. on Lake Superior Day to take pictures of the sunrise and then share coffee and tea at the Bark Bay Estuary. This was a very simple and sweet event that brought together people who shared their love of photography and the sunrise, and brought a real strong sense of community connection. So you don't have to have a huge community festival. You can do something smaller and simpler and still be really effective. The poster on the right is advertising a premiere showing of a documentary about the grandmother's gathering for Gitchigumi. This is an annual event held in the middle of August, which brings together Native American elders and women to celebrate their role as water keepers. And this event was a showing of a free movie at a local cinema to see this documentary about the grandmother's gathering. The Chamber of Commerce in the city of Ontonagon in Michigan had a very successful community picnic and offered boat tours of the Ontonagon Harbor and went out into Lake Superior. The organizers of that event said they raised almost $4,000 in 1 year for their events. So this was a way to actually get out on the water and experience the beauty of the big lake. We see many events where groups offer educational displays. You can see on the left that local folks might recognize Paul Helena selling some native plants that his business grows, and some other displays there at the bottom. On the right-hand side was another Bob Brown idea, and that he organized through the Superior schools. This was this young girl is in 3rd grade, and she won an essay contest for her essay about why Lake Superior is important to her, and she read it out loud to the crowd that year at the Superior Festival. Just wanted to show you some more examples of the diversity of activities, from the very simple to the more complex. All of these are events from 2012 on the south shore of Wisconsin. The cities of Cornucopia, Port Wing, and Herbster all get together in January, and it's still freezing outside, and they slog through snow and slush to get to their meetings to talk about what they're going to do in July. But they spend about 5 to 6 months planning these different events and have held them for the last 3 years. They include their businesses, such as the Everett Fisheries Smokehouse and their craft show, and they have some more events where they bring in well-known speakers such as Laura Erickson talking about the birds. Lots of art up on the South Shore, so there's an art gallery every year. And then you can see here a demonstration on how to wash your boat to stop the spread of invasive species. So it's also another great example of the collaboration that many groups are doing to work together to have these small and large events. And finally, we'll end with a few photos from the Superior event from 2012. We'll hear more about that in just a moment. But last year there was a big emphasis on incorporating art into the Superior event. The organizers of the Superior Art Council put together a celebration of water with inviting people to make postcards that celebrated water in the estuaries of Lake Superior. And they also had some music, rain barrels for sale, native plants for sale, and a rain guard demonstration. Also at that event, the Lake Superior Binational Forum announces the winners of their current Environmental Stewardship Awards program, which we'll do again this year on Sunday, July 21st. So after seeing all of these ideas, what will you do this year to participate and celebrate your connection to Lake Superior? If you need more ideas, we've posted some on our website at superiorforum.org. Also at the website for Lake Superior Day, you'll find some downloadable materials, some facts, fun fact sheets, posters, puzzles, games, activity sheets for kids, all things that you can download free if you want to use them at your event. And we also have a free online calendar, so if you're planning to do something, even if it's as simple as a family picnic in which you'll take pictures and maybe write something about the lake, make sure you email us at binationalforum@northland.edu, and we will post that for free on our online calendar. So I hope that people go to our website to learn more, go see what other folks did last year, see what's coming up this year, and tell us what Lake Superior means to you by emailing us. So thanks very much. I appreciate talking to you about this really special day for a very, very special lake.
Okay, I will bring it back over to my screen now so we can talk about what's happening here in Superior. So let me make sure it's showing the right screen. All right. So thank you for that, Lissa. Like I said, we'll talk about what's happening here in Superior. And in addition to the events that are going on Barker's Island, our department, the Environmental Services Division of Public Works for the City of Superior, will be doing a few things sort of separately, but also to celebrate the lake. So all month, this has already began. I actually put up the displays in the end of June. We have Learn About the Lake displays at the Government Center and the Public Library. So we have a table with a display and some sort of interesting trivia about different aspects of Lake Superior. The tables also have some informational brochures, and the buttons that Lissa mentioned, we actually made some of our own using their Lake Superior Day logo. So we have probably 100 or so buttons that are at those tables to give away. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the lake, you can stop by either one of those displays and grab a button. We have some of the postcards from this year out there too, so you can take one of those. The placemats as well, actually. So our displays have a few little things that you can pick up if you go and visit and learn a little bit more about the lake. Another thing that we are doing July 18th, so the week before Lake Superior Day, at 1 p.m. we'll be doing storm drain stenciling by Central Park in Superior. And so what this is we will all get together, anyone who's interested, and if you could RSVP to us before just so we know how many supplies to bring, that would be great. But it's not completely necessary. So what we'll be doing is taking paint and stencils, and the stencil says, "Do not dump drains to stream," and we paint those right next to the storm drains so that people are aware that the storm drains aren't necessarily coming to the wastewater treatment plant. A lot of them do go right out into the rivers and lakes and streams. And so you shouldn't litter or anything like that near the storm drains. So we're really just trying to promote that awareness, and it's actually a lot of fun. We did it with the 5th graders from Northern Lights Elementary, and we had a great time with them. So that's what we're doing on that Thursday. On Friday, July 19th at 4 p.m., we will be doing public tours of the wastewater treatment plant. It might not sound like the most exciting thing to do with your time, but it is actually really interesting if you haven't taken a tour before. It's really great to kind of see where the wastewater goes and that it doesn't just sort of disappear and come out shiny clean. We take you through the process. We walk through it. It can get a bit smelly, but it hasn't been too bad lately. We did that with all of the 5th graders in Superior as well this year. And they really enjoyed it, and we had a great time with them. So that'll be really fun. It takes about an hour. If you're interested in coming, you can let us know by RSVPing, but again, not completely necessary. If you want to just show up, that's quite all right with us as well. And then July 21st from 11:30 to 4 p.m. This is what Lissa was talking about. We have the celebration at Barker's Island. There are several different groups getting together to work on this. So there will be rain garden information from Lake Superior near. There's an education tent, local art vendors tent, arts and crafts children's tent, so there's a lot for kids to do. Our department will be doing crafts with the kids. We have water cycle bracelets that we'll be making. We may also do some buttons with the kids where they can draw their own design, and then we'll make it into a button for them. That may be there, haven't decided yet, but probably. And then another thing that we will be doing is we will have our water wheel, and you spin the wheel and it lands on a category, and we do some trivia, and they're pretty easy questions, so it's good for kids, but it's also fun for people of all ages. Other things that are going on Barker's Island are Ask a Scientist, so that'll be really interesting. UW Superior Adventures Canoe Experience. That's all from 1:30 till 3:30 p.m. There will also be from 11:30 to 4 p.m. half-price meteor tours if you want to tour the boat. And then the music that we talked about, there will be Tales of Laughing Fox, the St. Louis River Rats, Sonia and the Reckoning, and Tin Can Gin. There will also be, as Lissa said, the Binational Awards from 1 to 1:15, and the Blessing of the Fleet from 1:15 to 1:30. There will also be some food vendors there. So I think that I've pretty much covered everything that's happening on Barker's Island. Lissa, do you have anything to add to that? I unmuted you if you have anything you want to add in.
Well, I guess it's such a great lineup coming up on July 21st in Superior. I guess I just want to point out one quick one that's been brand new and organized by a retired Catholic priest who is organizing the first blessing of the fleet. If you line up right at 1 o'clock over by Barker's Island at 1:15, multi-faith clergy from different churches will give a blessing on any boat, so a kayak, a rowboat, a dinghy, a sailboat, a large boat. You'll receive a blessing to have safe travels on the big lake this year, and it's a really fun and beautiful way to celebrate our maritime history. These blessings of the fleets were started about 100 years ago to really make sure that the commercial fishing fleets were safe as they were going out into hazardous waters. So it's a very unique aspect of living by this large lake that we get to see some of these historically influenced ceremonies such as a blessing like this kind. So it'll be a great day for everybody at Barker's Island. It's always a fun year, and I'm looking forward to it again this year.
All right, well, yeah, it sounds like we're going to have all kinds of interesting and good stuff on Barker's Island, so we hope that we have a lot of people joining us there and check out our displays and joining in on our activities here at the Environmental Services Division. So I think that wraps up our webinar. Thank you so much, Lissa, for presenting, and if you would like to tune into our next webinar, everyone, it is July 23rd at noon. So please tune in for that. Like all of our webinars, it's free of charge, and anyone, not just City of Superior residents, can attend. So thank you for joining us today.